Words matter. The language we use every day shapes the way we see the world, and it's constantly evolving. For people with disability, language is critical. It can affect the way we are seen and treated. Outdated terms like handicapped or special needs tend to emphasise the disability instead of the person.
When you're using language, it's important to see that it's used in a way that doesn't discriminate and isn't hurtful. In fact, our use of language should celebrate diversity and difference. We talk a fair bit about using language that's person first. So what does that actually mean? Rather than addressing a person based on their disability, person first language suggests that we're individuals before our disability. It's as simple as saying person with disability instead of disabled person.
Remember, language is personal and people will have their own preferences on how they like to be referred to. Take their lead and use language in the same way. When in doubt, just ask. If you're coming from a place of genuine respect, it's okay to clarify the use of language with someone.
Being open and showing respect in the way you communicate is key to building strong relationships with customers and visitors. Interestingly, because of unconscious bias or preconceptions, some people see ordinary tasks as superhuman when they're done by a person with disability. There are many inspirational people who have disability, but usually getting a coffee or catching a tram is not especially inspirational. Using language in this way can set low expectations and imply that it's unusual for a person with disability to be doing everyday things.
Remember, a person living with a disability knows their disability best. If you want to help them, that's great, but don't assume they need assistance. Start off by asking if they do, and if they say yes, ask how you can assist. Opening the conversation in a relaxed, engaging, helpful way will ensure that everyone involved is at ease and comfortable in the situation.
Some people with disability require support workers or carers, whether that be for a bathroom break, to assist with accessing the community, or in other ways. It's important to communicate directly to the person with disability. If that person is unable to communicate, the support worker will likely step in.
In a similar way, when communicating with a person who is deaf, they may communicate through an interpreter. Remember to speak directly to the person and not their interpreter or support worker.
Some people who are deaf or hard of hearing can lip read, talk normally and clearly, and accompany any verbal instructions with clear physical directions. It's always good to have the option of using written communication like a smartphone or pen and paper. Over-the-top gestures will probably make you look like a bit of a goose and make people feel a bit awkward.
Don't assume a person who is non-verbal can't communicate. They may just use a communication device like an iPad or text-to-talk technology.
When you are talking to a person in a wheelchair or scooter, ask them if they would prefer you to bend down to their eye level or not. Some people prefer this and some people don't.
If you're talking with a person on the autism spectrum, avoid using sayings like, take a seat. A person on the autism spectrum will often take the literal meaning of these types of phrases, which can be confusing because cats and dogs don't actually fall from the sky.
If a person who is blind or has low vision is having trouble finding their way, ask if they need assistance, and then you can offer your arm to guide them. Address a person who is blind or has low vision by name, and let them know who is speaking as you approach them.
For a person with an intellectual disability, use plain English. It makes things clearer. Write clear instructions on how to access an activity. Take your time and be patient. Be prepared to explain things in a few different ways. How we use language has a big effect on us and the people we are talking to.
The way you refer to people and situations makes a big difference to a visitor's experience. Avoiding out-of-date terminology and embracing inclusive language is the way to go to make people feel welcomed.